Ladies and gentlemen, we just had a Predator Badlands release its final trailer, and it is clear to me now that they have no idea what they're doing with this franchise. It wants to be a high octane action film, and it can't decide whether it's set in the Predator universe or it's a Marvel movie, or maybe it might even be in the Star Wars universe. Look, if you take away the Predator title and you watch this trailer, it looks exactly like any sci-fi or superhero movie that you've seen come out in the past 5 to 10 years. It doesn't look like a Predator movie in the slightest. Now, I've been asking for the Predator as a main character for years now, and it doesn't even have to be a protagonist for the story, just a main central character in the story, much like a Jason or a Mike Myers or a Freddy Krueger or something like that. And I wasn't asking for something like this. If you want a money making machine, you would do something like that where you create this truly menacing character, this badass, this strong, cunning, and obviously deadly creature that just comes back time and time and time again. A monster that plagues the main characters of your story, and you think you get rid of him, and he comes back, and just this just absolute menace to your character and to your story. And you should really know that you have a problem with your story or with your movie when I'm more excited to see the creatures in this film that are on this planet more so than I am the predator. Predators should be fierce, intimidating, and capable, and this predator looks like none of those. And that stems not only from the actions in the trailer, but also from the design of the character. Now, I know that this is supposed to be a young predator, but you would think that even the smallest and the weakest of the clan are capable of handling themselves. Instead, we see this predator getting emotional, crashing his ship, slamming on the ground, and roaring into the dirt. These aren't the actions of a predator, the ultimate killing machine. It's the actions of a toddler. If you want to showcase the coming of age story for these hunters, don't make them weak and pathetic. Make it a badass young blood, maybe a little too cocky, so it gets itself into some hot water when it probably didn't need to be. But I mean, look at the Spartans. They had their kids who were rebellious at some point. Maybe they were sent on a wild hunt in order to prove themselves and transition from becoming a boy into a man. And you had them in a live or die situation. Strongest would prevail. Show us that. That's the story I want to see for a predator. A predator capable of its actions, maybe one, like I said, that's a little too cocky for its own good. And maybe because he's too cocky, he gets sent to the planet that's the most dangerous planet in the universe. That makes sense. I can kick the crap out of everybody on my home planet, all my trainers, and I can hunt my local fauna, and I have no problem with it. But then he gets sent to a foreign terrain. Let's see how you do over here. That's a story that I would watch. I don't want to see this team up with a plucky comic relief synthetic. Before watching the movie, I can tell that this is Disney written all over it. PG-13 rating, plucky side comic character, adorable little creature that tags along to help, emotional hero rebelling against his parents. What do we have? You've got Star Wars. And that's what this trailer looks like. Looks like they're creating a shared universe between Alien and Predator, and who knows, maybe even Star Wars. They're trying to create a cinematic universe, but at what cost? Because just like Star Wars, just like Marvel, Disney has proved time and time again that they can't handle these IPs. Tell me the last Marvel movie that did well, that did Endgame well. Tell me the last Star Wars project that had good reception. Even the new Star Wars movie that's coming out, Grogu and Mandalorian or whatever. It's getting ratioed online. They've saturated the market with these series in so many forms, from comics to cartoons to movies, and you have to watch this one in order to understand that one, and you have to read this to understand that. And people, they don't consume all this media. They don't. And if it's not in a movie release to the mass public, people are not going to understand or know about it or even consider it canon. So until it is in movie form, it is not canon. Which is why when people cite that the predators help the humans in the comic books and this is straight from the comic books and you should learn the lore, it's not part of the lore because it's not in movie. To the general public, it is not canon until it is in a movie format. They have tried and saturated the market with all of these forms and tried to get as many viewers as possible, and that they alienated their original audience, men. They've said they've messed up trying to get men back, and they've pushed men away from Star Wars, and this franchise is trying to get back on tracks, and they're trying to invite those men back to watching the film. And by lowering the rating to PG-13 here and giving us those comedy elements and cute creatures and everything, they're Disneyfying this franchise to cast a wider net in the hopes of grabbing more viewers. But saying goes something like, when you make something for everyone, you really make it for no one, and you should know your audience. And Disney, it would appear, does not know the audience for these IPs, or if they do, they're ignoring it. And it's for this reason alone that I'm fearful for this movie. They don't know how to write this character. The Predator shouldn't have human emotion. It's an alien creature priding itself on being the best hunter in the galaxy, grabbing trophies of everything it's killed and impressing the Lady Yautja with its bone collection. Okay, I exaggerated that last one a little bit, but who knows? Maybe that's what they do. I don't know. Maybe it's a mating thing, showcasing who's the strongest. Instead, we have our hero in this movie in the form of Deck, the temper tantrum daddy issue Deck. And I'm sticking to that. Daddy issue Deck. These creatures were originally truly the most masculine monster in film. And they were strong and fearless, and they had an honor code to them. They didn't just randomly go out and kill or go after the weak. They put themselves deliberately in competition with the strongest opponent possible to prove their worth. Hell, we still do that today in sports and video games. You're always trying to, be the number one in sports. You're always trying to be at the top of the leaderboards in the game and have the best kill death ratio and all that. You're trying to be the best at whatever game you are playing. And these creatures, the game they are playing is just in real life, and when you lose, they take your skull for it. High stakes. So instead of showcasing a hardened warrior clan that prides itself on the hunt and being the best that it can be, we have emotional, millennial, insert modern audience predator lore. According to descriptions online, Deck is supposed to be the runt of his clan, and he is supposed to be rebelling against his father, and I guess to some degree his brother, and he's got daddy issues. Again, this is according to the things online, to the descriptions online, and instead of having a predator who is just showcasing himself becoming from a youngling, a young blood to an adult, what they're doing is they're making it so that this predator is sticking it to his family and sticking it to the man. It's it's a modern day it's the modern day storyline. It is the writers and the directors and the people creating this movie inserting themselves into the story. 2022's Prey showcased this with flying colors when you had a 110-pound girl and her dog overcome a predator. You can yell at me all you want. You can go be sexist. I don't care if the character's a guy or a girl. It makes no difference. Character was a psychopath, hell bent on becoming the ultimate warrior. That her brother was killed. She had no tears for him and was happy to bring the predator head back to her tribe as a trophy, showcasing that she was the greatest hunter. What are we doing here? This character was a psychopath. You just lost half of your tribe and your brother, and you're happy about this? Look at Dutch in the original Predator at the end of the movie. He was beaten and battered and bruised. He was picked up in that helicopter and he was just laying there, just staring off into the existence as all of his squad mates and his buddies were all murdered in front of him. That was, in a way, it was not a happy ending because, you lost so many good people. But, the character, you could tell it took a toll on him. I mean, physically and mentally. Not so much in Prey. In Prey, you just had that Gracie lady at the end of the film who was, yeah, we must band together and get ready for another attack. What the hell are we talking about here? And this was furthered in this year's Predator Killer of Killers, which had moments of innovation and dashes of nostalgia. But the ending showcased a human figuring out how to operate the Predator tech, overthrowing an arena filled with predators on their home planet, and then taking their ship and flying all the way away from them. And it happened in a span of 5 to 10 minutes. If this doesn't showcase the ludicrous lengths that this company is going to make this franchise as all age consumer friendly as possible, I have no idea what will. Look, this trailer has some cool stuff in it. Looks like you have some big monsters, some mechs, some explosions, actions all over the place. Everything that you want in a sci fi film. Sadly, the story seems saturated with all the present day movie tropes that you would expect, and they are cramming in as much eye candy for the viewers and much spectacle for the viewers to hide that ridiculously weak story. I think this movie is going to have some cool elements to it, and I think it's going to have some cool moments to it. But overall, I think this movie is going to be trash. I hope I'm proven wrong. But it seems like every new trailer and every detail that's released, they're just making a standard sci-fi film with the Predator name slapped on top of it so it catches your eye and draws that viewer in. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you liked the video. Hit that like button and consider giving a follow, and I'll see you in the next one.